Lip balm. Burt's Bees pomegranate. Woohoo! Can't live without lip balm. Anyways, hi everyone. I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. So here it is, beginning of February. Today is February 3rd. Tomorrow is my daughter's birthday. She's gonna be 29. That's crazy. So she's very excited. I think she's considering a new tattoo. So yay, good for her. Happy birthday, Santana. I think you saw her. She kind of did a little pop in the last episode. So that's her. Very exciting. Let's see. What is going on? Quite a bit. I finished my boscular. Let's start there. Let's talk about finished objects. I've only got two. So this is the boscular pullover sweater by Marina Skewa. I think I showed you that I was doing a test knit for her. So that's all completed now. The yoke on this is so pretty. And if you remember, this was, I just realized I didn't introduce myself very much. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me just finish my train of thought. This is done in Bijou Basin Ranch sport weight 100% yak down. Unfortunately, Bijou Basin Ranch is no longer in business, but I was lucky enough to get a lot of their yarn when they had it on discount, when they were clearing everything out. So this was the natural cream color, and this was the natural brown. Let me go ahead and see if I could stand up. So that's the yoke. And this was my first color work. No? I guess you would consider it my first color work, because the last sweater that I did was also a test knit, and that was for Julie Mackesy, and it was a yoke sweater also, but it was striped with lace, so it wasn't really this type of color work. So this was my first stranded color work yoke sweater. So this is what it looks like here. There is short rows in the back so that it comes lifts up the back a little bit, and there's the design on the arm, on the just above the cuff, and that same design is here. And I'm short, so that's down here, and it's very cool. I've been wearing this a lot, sorry. I've got a little bit of pilling. This is, like I said, 100% yak down, and it's very, very soft. So it's, I'm noticing that it's starting to fuzz up a little bit, which is fine. It's very warm. It does have a high neck on it, and I don't mind that. Although it does kind of want to ride up a little bit when I'm sitting. And the other one that I did, that I was talking about for Julie Mackesy, which was the, shoot, I can't remember the name of it. I'll put the name of it up here, but it's also a yoked sweater, and that neckline comes down a little bit lower, but it does also want to ride up on my chest. And I'm not sure if that's just what yoked sweaters do, or if it's because I'm bigger busted and it just wants to sit on top as opposed to in front. So I love this. It feels, it's a perfect warmth. It's sport weight. It's so cozy. I love it, love it, love it so much. It's so pretty. And I think that Marina is doing another sweater. She's working on another yoked sweater with a different color work design. And I'm like, oh, I might have to make it, because I really love her pattern. Was easy to read. It was easy to follow, especially for somebody like me who's very new. I still consider myself a beginner for color work. And hers are easy. There's not a whole lot of long floats that you got to pick up. So it was really, really fun to knit. So I'm definitely going to do another one of hers. Now I did add, I think I added 3 inches to the length of the body. And that's just because I am a bigger person and I like my sweaters to come below the waist. And this is still a little bit too short. I think I want to add another inch or 2, and I'm just going to add it to the lighter colored hem. I'm not going to pull out the color work to add it in the brown. I have plenty of both color, but I think I'm just gonna undo the bind off and just add an inch, maybe inch and a half to the bottom. And I think I want to add, because this is the length that I have the sleeves at. And when I first finished it, I thought, oh, that's okay, because I'm just going to slide them up. Let's see, pill. And that's fine, but when it's not slid up, it just feels unfinished. And I know a lot of people like this bracelet length, and I thought I might too, but I don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull out the bind off on the cuffs and the hem, the bottom hem, and add another couple of inches. So whatever, three of my finger lengths, that's how much I'm adding. So it won't be that hard. I'm gonna go ahead and put that to the side and add some length to that. But other than that, I'm loving it. It's so warm. I've been wearing this quite a bit since I finished it. Super, super excited about it. I love it. So that was one of my finished objects. Before I move on to the next finished object, I'm going to go ahead and finish introducing myself, because I forgot to do that. I got too excited. So I did say my name is April. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're a new viewer, I am a knitter and a crocheter. That's mostly what my podcast is about. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not really a whole lot on Twitter anymore, but I'm there as the Tangled Cat. And what else? I totally lost all my, that happens a lot. I lose my thoughts a lot. So let's see what else. I talk about knitting and crocheting and yarn. It's mostly what I talk about. I do also talk about TV shows and movies that I've seen, and books that I've read. So that's kind of where we're at. That's what I do. I'm a retired 911 operator. I've been retired for about 1.5 years, maybe, coming up on 2 years. But I was a 911 operator for 25 years. So I retired from that. And right now, currently, I'm not doing any other work. I am looking for some part-time work to kind of supplement my retirement, but I'm not really rushing to get that. You know, I've got some feelers out and some applications and stuff, but I'm not desperately looking for a job, if that makes sense. Let's see. So I am drinking tea, and I think I bumped it, so it might be dripping. This is a mug that I got from Goodwill, and I can't really show you, but it's got, if you couldn't see here, there's, you can't really see, there's like, I'm trying to not spill. There's a little bit of a darker pink on the edge. There's that darker pink on the inside of my mug in the shape of a heart. It's really cute, but I can't really show you. And I am drinking Stash Asian Pear Harmony, and it's just green tea and natural pear flavors, all it says. So good. It smells like pear. It tastes like pear. It's so, so good. It tastes like Jelly beans, the pear flavor. It tastes exactly like that. I'm like, oh, it's so good. So that's what I'm drinking. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to scoot in. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. It's the chair squeaky. Anyway, so stop being silly, April. Oh, my other finished project. This was some fingerless mitts that I did because Denise from Earth Tones Girl, and Mars from Hey Brownberry are doing a mitt along. It's the Monday Makers Mitt Along. So it's any fingerless mitt glove pattern that you want. And I don't think it's for prizes. It's not for prizes or anything. It's just to join in and, you know, be part of a little mid-along community. And so I went ahead and did that. And my daughter has been needing another pair of fingerless mitts because she lost the pair that I made her several years ago, and it was time. She needed more anyway. So I went ahead and made her these. Now they look very, very narrow, but they're snug and they're stretchy. These are the Ribblings mitts, and I'll put the name of the designer up here as well as the name. It's 1x1 twisted ribs, and it's got a nice thumb gusset here. And I made the finger part very long. And let me show you. She's already worn these. I've tried them on several times as I was making them, but you can see they're very stretchy, but they're still quite snug. And I love that because it just feels so warm and cozy when there's like no air getting up under there. I think I made it at about 1 inch longer than they called for in the wrist, because I like them to be really well up under a jacket or a sweater. So, and then I added about 1 inch on the fingers. So it comes right to the edge of her pinky, just like it does on me. So they're a little more warm. I was thinking about making them all the way up and then she could fold them down, but I wasn't sure I was going to have enough yarn. So this is what I did. And it works perfect. She's able to use her phone and whatever. So perfect. Lint. So we've got the Ribblings fingerless mitts. And this was leftover yarn that I had from the... I think I talked about a hat that I made for my son for Christmas. It was holding fingering weight, double-stranded to make a DK weight, and it was Blue Moon Fiber Arts in the Ravenscroft colorway, and it's so pretty. It's like charcoal gray with deep greens, bright greens. It's so pretty. There's enough green to make me happy because I love green, but it's dark and subtle enough, I would say, to be considered a neutral. So she could wear this with anything. And so this was done with the leftovers from that yarn. I think the skein was 600 yards and it was a 150 gram skein. So it was really big. It was the Blue Moon Fiber Arts Colossal Sock. So yay, we got some gloves and she's loving them. She wears them out on her walks. So that's good. It is kind of cold here in New Mexico. It's that not sure if we want to be spring yet or not kind of season, and it's very windy. I can deal with cold. I can deal with heat. The wind, don't like it. And it's been really, really windy. So we're wearing our gloves when we walk. Hats, I wear a cowl and I get all bundled up and look like it's like if I'm in a blizzard, but it's just the wind. So she's very excited to have those. Those were the only 2 finished objects that I have. And I just realized you could probably hear my birds as usual, my 2 canaries. And if you happen to follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed that my birds have laid an egg. I named them Ripley and Newt. I think I mentioned this before. I thought they were both male birds when I got them. That's what they told me. And I named them Ripley and Newt after the Alien movie, Aliens, the second one, because I love that movie so much. And so it turns out that Ripley was a female and she's laid an egg. So now we're just waiting to see if it's going to hatch or what's going to happen. I don't really know because she isn't really sitting on it as often as I would think. But I don't know. I guess in my mind, I'm thinking that she's going to be sitting on there like all the time. But I don't know. I'm not a bird. And I wasn't planning on breeding birds, so I have no idea what's going on. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the baby bird if it does hatch, because that wasn't my intention when I got birds. I thought I was getting 2 males, so I don't know. But it's exciting. I got 2 potentially bird parents. I might be a bird grandma. It's so cute. So that's exciting news. Else, I think that's really all of the major things. So we can get into works in progress. This is another sweater. This is a cardigan. again by Julie Mackesy, and she's Nalu Knits on Instagram. And this is a sport weight cardigan that's got some pretty lace and texture detail. And it's done in like the yoke. It's not a raglan. It's done like a yoke, like a round yoke. And I can't hold it up. So I decided to do it in this orangey color. And it's so pretty. There's the lace detail on top. And then you can see the texture on the body. And it's also on the sleeve. Now this is going to be a short sleeve. So I'm done with the sleeves except for the 2-inch, I think it's 2.5-inch cuff. And that's going to be in a different color, as well as on the bottom hem, and the button band will be in the secondary color. So I'm done with this color, and it's short. So this is going to be, since it's short sleeve, I figured I'm not going to be using it to get super cozy and warm. I've got several sleeveless dresses that I wear, and I figure I could wear those in spring or fall. And if my arms are cold, or my shoulders, I can put this on and it'll be just the right amount. So it's okay that it's a little bit shorter, because the dresses have that little bit of flariness, not a whole lot of flare, but enough to where a cropped cardigan would look okay on me, is how I'm seeing it. But it's super pretty. Now the yarn is a sport weight yarn from Autumn and Indigo. And I had 5 skeins of this. So here's the Autumn and Indigo. And this is their sport weight. Classic Sports 100% superwash wool, or merino wool, 321 yards per 100 grams. Oh, come on. I'm trying to make sure I could see and that you can see. Don't look at my nails. They look terrible. But this is the umber colorway. It's super pretty. So I had 5 skeins of that, and I've only used about 2 3/4. And I thought I was going to use at least 4.5. And I checked my gauge, so I'm on gauge. When I block it out, it'll be the right dimensions. Right now it's a little scrunched. It'll open up when I block it, and it'll be the right gauge. So I'm not sure why I've used so much less. And I've gone over the pattern several times to make sure that I'm not missing any repeats or anything like that. But for some reason, I'm using way less than what she called for in the amount of yarn. I don't know. But hopefully it'll all work out, because like I said, I've checked my gauge several times. We'll see. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's so pretty, and I'm excited to add this color. Now this is actually a fingering weight, but it's, when I'm looking at it, it looks comparable in size to the sport weight. So I went ahead and decided to use it. And I don't know where I got this. The tag somewhere, somehow fell off of it. So I don't know who the dyer was. I know it was an indie dyer. But it's a tweed yarn. And it's like browns and like golds, and it's just a really beautiful tonal. And I should have shown this before I skeined it up. I mean, balled it up. But it's got little bits of like really dark brown, some orangey color here, and this, I don't even know what to call it, like this gold brown bronzy color. It's so pretty. And then it's got all of the little tweedy nips throughout it. And this is going to be the cuff, the bottoms, the cuffs, and the bottom hem, and the button band. Oh, I should have brought the buttons. I might have them. I don't know, they're way on the other side of the room. But I got some pretty buttons off of Amazon, and I'll definitely show you those once it's done. But I only have one of this, but I believe that I have enough. If not, I've got another one that's similar in color. Might be okay if I have to supplement, but this is all from my stash. I've had this for several months. This, I don't know how long I've had, but it's been in my stash long enough to have lost the tag. So working from my stash, and I am loving shopping in my own yarn room. Loving it. So it shouldn't take me too long. I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to get the cuffs done today, and then maybe the bottom hem tomorrow. And then the day after that will be the button band, because I've never picked up stitches from, what am I trying to say? Usually like shawls and stuff, if I'm working on something where I'm going to have to go and pick up stitches along a certain edge later, the stitches are slipped, so I know exactly what to pick up. This isn't. There was no slipping stitches. It just says, you know, knit and purl, whatever side you're on. So I've never picked up stitches like that, and it doesn't, she doesn't say specifically pick up this stitch and skip that stitch or whatever, because I know that it's not pick up every single stitch. All she says is pick up this number of stitches across the whole edge. So I gotta, and do that, you know, distribute them evenly. So that's very new to me, and I'm definitely going to be watching some videos on that because I've never done it. And I hope that I can get it not to look puckered or wonky in any way. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but you know, I guess I got to learn something new sometime. But I love how they go together. Oh, I just can't get over these colors. I'm really more of a cool color person, but lately I've been drawn to the warm colors. So, you know, there's this, and now I'm doing this, and I love how they look together. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it so much. So I'm super excited. So that's that one. A while back, I have one other current actively working whip that I'm working on, and this was my another not a recommendation, but a request from my sister. Her husband has a co-worker. They really wanted to, my sister and her husband really wanted to give her a shawl so that she could keep warm, because she just feels cold a lot. So, and her favorite football team is the Green Bay Packers. And so they wanted something, a shawl that is in those colors. So I went searching, and I found a pattern, and I'll put up the original pattern picture up here, and it's called Just Peachy. I'll put the name of the designer as well. And it's meant for a it's a 2-color shawl, but I decided to use 3. And because she's a Green Bay Packers fan, it's going to be white, green, and yellow. So these are the colors. Hey, all of that is upside down. That's crazy. So you can tell by the labels, this I've had in stash for years. And this is just the Stroll Fingering White. And this is Stroll Fingering in Aurora Heather. You can tell they changed their labels. It's so funny. But it's definitely the correct dark green. And I've got some white. And then the yellow, that is also a Packers color. This is another one that I had in my stash. This is from Breaking Yarn. Hazmat suit. This is the color that I already had this, so I didn't have to buy a yellow, and it's the perfect yellow for Green Bay. So if you recall the picture that I put up here of the shawl, there's a lace panel sort of in the middle. That's going to be white. The main color is green. This is what I've got so far. The main color is green, and then the thinner stripes, which is actually a texture detail, sorry, I'm a little tangled, is the yellow. Now the texture detail is really cool. It's kind of like baubles, but they're done in a way that I've never seen them made before. I don't know if you could see it because it's so bright and it's just there. I don't know if you could see, like it looks like bubbly. And then this is garter. Now, I think I'm going to finish this green section. I'll have one more yellow stripe and then I'll be doing the lace. And I think that I want to mirror the white by adding, maybe not mirror, but like a callback to the white at the bottom instead of doing it in the green, doing a green edge. I think I want to do a white edge, and I might modify it to do, instead of the ribbed edging that it has, I might do a simple lace there as well, but I'm not sure. But it's definitely going to be white on the bottom, just so that it's not just one thing of white. There's a little bit of white there, a little bit of white at the, in both places. This is worked on something. I don't have my glasses. Look, check it out. Maybe this is worked on a US 4. I think they called for a 3, and it just was too tight. And actually, my pattern, my project is my swatch. This was done in the 3, and it just seemed a little too, it wasn't hitting gauge at all. And this is the 4. I did this in 4, and I did, so far I'm doing the rest in 4. And it feels much better. So I don't think as far as like blocking or the finished project, you're gonna notice that it's 2 different needles, but I knew that if I kept going with the 3, it was gonna end up being a much smaller shawl than I'm intending. So I went up to the 4, and it's working out really, really well. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm focusing on finishing the cardigan and the shawl now for February. I should get them done before mid-month. And that leads me to the next project that I want to work on, and this is one of my 2020 whips. I believe I mentioned that I wanted to get a lot of those done, and I'm going to focus on those, as well as, you know, a random new item here and there. Because I got so many started projects that I need to just get back to them. And some of them I have gone through and decided I'm not going to do those anymore. So I've set them aside to frog. And I am playing with a big tangle of yarn because this project that I'm going to be working on, one of the whips that I'm going to continue with, has been sitting in a bag. And you put it in the bag and you don't touch it for months, in this case a year, and somehow it fights with itself and it comes out like this. I don't know how that happens. It's like Toy Story. You walk out of the room and they start doing things behind your back, and then you come back and you're like, what the heck? So that's this. But these were the Spring Heart socks. It was a pattern. It is a pattern from Kia Spot. She's got her YouTube channel, and she's got some patterns out. And this was what she had come up with her Free Sock 2020 last year. And I got them started. This is the cuff of one. Really pretty texture on it. And this was the leg of the other one. And I love it so much. It's an all over color work sock pattern. And I am working the heel flap right now. Or not right now, but that's where I stopped. And I stopped because I was a little bit confused on how to read the instructions. I'm not familiar, like I said, I'm not real good with color work, and the color work in the heel in the gusset is intimidating to me. I'm a little thrown off by it, and part of me just wants to go ahead and do the heel, finish the heel flap, and just do the gusset all in this, and then pick up the color work from there. But I do love the colors that I chose. This was some other stroll yarn. This was the navy blue in the fingering stroll. My goodness, there is lint everywhere. My new cat, new-ish, it's been almost a year, she sheds like crazy, like white hair everywhere. So anyway, this is stroll fingering navy blue. And this one is a really pretty tonal blue, little tiny specks of black and dark gray. And I'll have to put the name of the dyer here. I know I got it off of Etsy. I'll have to put the name there because I don't remember right off the top of my head. And then the color that I'm using for the hearts is this little mini that I had gotten a few years ago. I think I mentioned this was when I was doing the Adventurous Shawl by Ambo Brian. And I was, throughout that entire year, I think it was 2019, maybe 2018. I don't remember. But throughout that year, I was buying minis from different dyers all over Etsy. And this one came from a dyer in the Czech Republic. And I think it was called, on Etsy, it was called Yarn to You. And it didn't have a name. It was part of a mini skein set. So this individual mini didn't have a specific individual name. But look at all of the different pretty pinks, oranges, purples, yellows, reds, everything. It just looks like a sunset. I love it so much. And I love how it contrasts with the navy. Love it, love it, love it. It looks like sunset hearts. Very, very exciting. I love it so much. So I think I am going to get back to these. And I'm working them on my 9-inch circulars from Chaogu. Most of my needles are Chaogus. These are the 9-inch circulars. And this is the glasses. 2.5 millimeter, which is a US 1.5. So I'm going to show these some love once I get finished with those two, with the cardigan and the shawl. But that is my next old whip that I want to get back to work on. So those are my plans. That's all I've really got. I have like a list of things that I want to do throughout the year, but I'm not going to talk about all of that. I'll talk about it as it comes up, and you know, things change and sometimes I change my mind. So I'll just talk about things as I'm actually doing them. Let's see. So that's all of my yarny stuff that I've got to talk about. I did get a package in the mail, and if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen this, but my nails, this is what I was going to talk about. Ooh, she got breakfast delivered. I bought these, it's called Color Street, and they're nail polish strips. And I had bought this, gosh, about a year ago, and I put them away in some random drawer and forgot about them. And then I recently found them, and I had posted a picture holding something with yarn probably. And my sister saw my nails and she was like, "Are those Color Street?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just found them. I couldn't remember where I put them, but I love them." And they're growing out, but it's cool because they've grown out and I've been filing my nails down and they haven't come off. They're just growing out. This, like, it's been almost a month, maybe a little more, and they haven't like peeled off. They're just growing off, and I keep filing them down because I like my nails short. So that's pretty good. And because of this particular color, it doesn't look so bad from far away that they're growing out. But because of my sister had seen that, she apparently has a contact who sells them. And I didn't know she was doing this, and I got a package in the mail from my sister. It's a goodie bag, and she sent me super cute. She sent me some, is there, I don't know if there's names of the colors. It doesn't really say the names of the colors, I don't think. Oh, Heart of the Matter. There it is. It's on the back. Heart of the Matter is the name of the design of these nails. They're super easy to put on. And like I'm saying, they're lasting very long. And there's a bigger one. The ones on the end are really big. And I can put that on my big toe. That has lasted for a long time. Perfect. And then I just paint my little toes with regular nail polish, like to kind of coordinate. But I'm loving them. They're so easy. There was goodies in the bag too. I got 2 pencils, 2 regular pencils. And I just noticed they're little hearts and sloths. I love sloths. There's this video that I keep every now and then pops up because I keep watching it on YouTube. And it's these ladies, I don't know what country they're in, but they bathe. I don't know if it's like a animal preserve or something, or a zoo, but they have sloths, these young sloths, little younglings. They get them and they put them in this bath with flower petals and other things for disinfectant, I'm assuming. And they put them in this little bath, and then they take them and they put these young sloths, and they kind of hang them on this rack, and they just hang there and they dry. I'm like, that, now that I'm retired, that is the job I want. I want to give baby sloths baths. That's what I want. Anyway, weird little tangent, but the sloths are so adorable. They're so darn cute. And I will probably never use these pencils because I don't want to sharpen the sloths. And then there was, let's see, what else did I get? I think there was another pencil, but it was like one of those, or is it a pen? Oh, I think it's a pen. Yeah, it's a pen. It's a tiny little pen. What does it say? XOXO, kisses, adore. Super cute. Little pen with a lid. And then there was this little, it says, "You are possum." It's got kitties and puppies. And it looks like one of those little paddle balls. I'm not coordinated and I could never really do those. I can't do it. But anyways, super cute though. And then it looks like there's a whole bunch of these, and they kind of look like those candy hearts that you get for Valentine's Day, but they look like little stickers, like puffy stickers, or maybe they're pasties. Not gonna try to find out. Love you, best friend. And my sister is my best friend. And there's a whole bunch of them. They're just kind of scattered in there. There's a whole bunch thrown in there. I don't know if you can see. Look, there's another one. There's a blue one there, yellow one. A whole bunch of crinkly, pretty red paper that I might use for stuffing something. And let's see, there was another couple of little notebooks. And I love notebooks. I'm constantly needing something to write on. So there's this little one, Hugs and Kisses, XOXO Express. And it's just a little empty book to take notes in. Super cute. And then there's this one that looks like a patchwork quilt. Just a little spiral bound notebook. Very exciting. And it looks like, oh, there's a couple of other things. Oh, there's a sample of another color. I'm very excited. There's one of those little cuticle pusher thingies. And I guess this is the prep pad that comes with your nails. I know that there's one in the main package. So this must be an extra, or maybe it goes with this because this looks like a sample. I don't know if you could see, it's like a antique gold with pink speckles. Kind of like a rose gold color overall. There you go, maybe that's better. They're in the sealed plastic, so I don't want to take that out because I know that they can dry out. The adhesive, or however they stay on, it dries out, so I don't want to open that to get rid of the glare. So I was super excited. I got a gift from my sister. She's so sweet. I love her. Yeah, so that was exciting. Let's see, what else can I blab on about? That's so good. Even getting cold, the tea's cooling down quite a bit. It's still good. That peach flavor is so yummy. Let's see. So books. I mentioned that I am reading through a lot of the Star Wars novels and stories. Mostly the canon, the ones that are canon now, because now that Disney took over, there's a whole lot of stories that were written previously are no longer canon. And there's a list that I found that is in chronological order, not the order that they were published. But the next one I'm about to start is Ahsoka, which if you follow Clone Wars at all, Ahsoka was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. And she left the order during Clone Wars because they accused her. She was accused of betraying them I can't remember. There's so much that happens in Clone Wars. And I can't remember exactly what it is they accused her of, but they accused her, they tried her, and then they came to their senses and said, oh, just kidding. And she was like, no, I'm out. So she left the Jedi Order, and I know that she shows up later in, I believe there's a show called Rebels. I know she shows up there older, but this book falls in between what she did after she left the Jedi Order, but before we see her in Rebels. And then let's see, I also have, I don't know if I've mentioned, I think I might have, I love the Arthurian saga, King Arthur and Merlin and Guinevere and all of that. Lancelot, I love, love, love that whole legend. And my goodness, Newt, he is so loud sometimes. It's like he's competing with me. All right, now he's gonna stop. But I love Merlin, I love King Arthur and all of that stuff. And I have some books by Mary Stewart that follow Merlin. I have read the first book in this particular series by Mary Stewart years ago. And I have the entire, I think it's 5 books. I have them all sitting in my closet, and I've never read the other 4. So I thought I will go ahead and read those. Super excited about that. So I'm going to start the first one. I'm going to read it again, even though I've read it before. I'm going to read it again. That one I believe is called The Crystal Palace. I think that's the first one. So I'm going to read that again. I'm going to get started, do the whole Merlin Arthur thing alongside of the Star Wars thing. So I've got a fantasy going, I've got a sci-fi going, and then I just started recently within the last maybe the last couple of months. I believe it's called Mike's Review. He's a booktuber. I didn't even know booktubers existed. I'm literally on YouTube for yarn, and somehow this came up. And he was talking about my favorite Stephen King book of all time is Eyes of the Dragon. He had done a video on that, and for some reason that popped up on my YouTube feed, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. And then I ended up he just talks about a lot of sci-fi and fantasy that he likes to read, and horror, and he has really gotten me into wanting to read a lot of things. So I've got this huge list of stuff that he's talked about, and someday I'll get to. But he also mentioned that he's read everything by Michael Crichton in the past, and starting this month, he wants to reread all of those. So he's done one, he's made a list, and he's going to read one Michael Crichton book a month in between everything else that he's reading. So I thought I could do that. I could follow along. I know I've only read, in the far past, I've read Jurassic Park and Congo. So it's going to be exciting to read other Michael Crichton things and to reread those books. And I think he's got the list spread out over like a year and a half to read these books. And they're not very big books, so it'll be really cool to read those in between these long series that I'm doing, because most of those are standalone from Michael Crichton. So it's going to be really exciting. And I just started Andromeda Strain a couple days ago, and I'm already halfway through, and I'm like, why did I never read this book? Like, oh my goodness, it's so good. And I know there's a movie that I've never seen. I think there's a movie. It sounds like a familiar name. Like in my mind, I'm thinking there's a movie called that, but I'm going to have to look and see if that's what I'm thinking. But I want to finish the book before I do any kind of research on a potential movie. I think there is a movie. I think there is. It sounds like I've heard of it. I know I haven't seen it. But my goodness, this book is so exciting. I'm having such a good time reading it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I've got all of those going all at once, and I'm really good at reading several different books and concurrently and not getting lost. So that's super exciting. I don't know if I mentioned I was doing a Pedro Pascal movie marathon and TV show marathon a while back. I think most of January, that's what I did. I watched everything I could find that had Pedro Pascal in it to watch. And then I found out that he did some audiobooks. So so far I've finished 2 audiobooks that he's narrated, and I think there's 3 or 4 other books. I love Pedro Pascal's voice. So I'm going through it. Those are my audios. And then I've got hardcover books and ebooks, and I don't have a problem switching from one to the other, to the other, to the other. I don't get lost or anything like that. So I'm able to keep all of those books straight, and I'm having such a good time with it. And I've been really making a lot more time lately to actually read, not just audiobooks, because I kind of fell into just audiobooks so I could so I could knit while I was reading. But I've decided to set more time for actual reading. And so now I've got this whole plan that I want to do, and I'm super excited to continue with it all. So that's really what I've been doing. It's kind of a lot. I wasn't expecting this to turn out this long. I'm so sorry. Just babbling on and on. So that's really all I've got for this month. I'm gonna get back with you all again next month, and hopefully I'll have both the cardigan and the shawl done, and hopefully those socks. And we'll see what else I can pull from my very huge whip pile. So I hope you all had a wonderful January, and I hope that you have a wonderful February. Valentine's Day is coming up, so if you're celebrating Valentine's Day, have a good one. Enjoy some chocolate for me. And just enjoy your crafting time or your quiet time, your reading time. It's okay to spend time on yourself, and just enjoy life. Find time for enjoyment and take care of yourself. I hope to see you again next time. You're more than welcome to come back and visit with me a little bit, and we'll see you then. Bye.